Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible, because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? Oh Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. Living entities have come under the control of the illusory energy by your will, and therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message.
Jali Tadera
Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation, and if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message.
Bhagavate Katase
He will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion, and thus all inauspicious things accumulated within the core of the heart will disappear. Understand this message of Krishna consciousness. I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. Spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding.
Akila Jagat Guru Bachana Se Amar
by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances all to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's class. Today we will be continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, verse 34. And the chapter is entitled Answers by Citing the Lord's Version. It's a very beautiful discussion, conversation is a better word, between the Lord and Lord Brahma. And we will continue with this verse with His Holiness Candramauli Swami. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada Maharaj. Maharaj, for some reason you're on mute. I don't know why. I can't hear you unless it's... Can anyone else hear Maharaj, or is it just me that can hear him?
No, it's not audible.
Okay, so I'm not the only one. Okay, Maharaj is plucking his things in.
Okay, I'm sure you could hear me now.
Oh, yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just old age.
Maharaj, no problem at all, Maharaj. I'm sure we have those moments too, Maharaj. A little bit. It's okay, Maharaj.
Well, you wait a few decades.
Wait a few decades. That's what Friction tells me. Friction always tells me there's one thing that I did not listen from Candramauli Swami. I said, what is it? He says, he told me not to get old, and I got old.
Well, we try. Okay, so we have done half the purport. So
Okay,
we'll do the verse,
so-
and then
All right, Maharaj.
we'll do the verse, and then we'll do the continuation of the purport.
Okay.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ritam yaprate. Rite ritam yapratiyeta. Na pratiyeta chatvanim. Tad vidyadatmano mayam. Yata baso yata tamaha. And go down to the paragraph that says, a sane man is the first words in that paragraph. There it is, a sane man. Okay, this is a continuation from yesterday. A sane man, however, is enlightened in the disciplic succession from Brahmaji, who was personally instructed by the Lord, or in the disciplic succession from Arjuna, who was personally instructed by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita. He accepts the statement of the Lord, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matat sarvam pavartate, iti matvav bhajante mam buddha bhavam samanvitaha. The Lord is the original source of all emanations, and everything that is created, maintained, and annihilated exists by the energy of the Lord. So we should understand this point very carefully. Everything that is created, maintained, and annihilated exists by the energy of the Lord. So the Lord works through his energies for creation, maintenance, and annihilation. And this is just one aspect of the existence. Then that's considering the spiritual realm. This is about the material realm. So, and then Prabhupada goes on to say, if you know this, you actually learn it. And therefore, one becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, engaged in transcendental loving service. When you know, I mean, you actually know that everything in existence is created by the Lord, it's maintained by the Lord, and when it's at a certain time, it'll be annihilated by the Lord through his different energies. So the Lord has his hand in everything. So one who knows that wants to connect with the Lord. Therefore, the energies don't take that person away from Krishna, but bring them to Krishna. When we try to become the creator, maintainer, we can't become the creator, but we try to become the maintainer and sometimes the annihilator. Then we try to take the position of the Lord. But therefore, it is explained that everything in existence is under the control of the Lord. So if we become under the control of the Lord, in one sense of the term, everything that's under the control of the Lord doesn't control us, but we also can act in such a way that we can also use the energies that the Lord gives us for our transcendental progress in devotional service. So it goes on. Although the reflectory energy of the Lord displays various illusions to the eyes of persons with a poor fund of knowledge. So here we talk about the learned and the poor fund. The same person knows clearly that the Lord can act even from afar, far beyond our vision by his different energies. So this is a very important part. Just as fire can diffuse heat and light from a distant place, in the medical science of the ancient sages, known as Ayurveda, there is a definite acceptance of the Lord's supremacy in the following words. Jagandyonir anischasya chiranandaika rupinaha. Can go up the page. Pumsam Stri Prakritir Nitya Pratichayeva Vasvataham Achetanapi Chaitanyam Yogene Paramatmanaham Akrorod Vishwam Akilam Anityam Nakakritim. There is one person who is the progenitor of this cosmic manifestation and whose energy acts as material nature or prakriti and is dazzling like a reflection. So here we go back to the purport that this material energy is a reflection of the actual energy of the Lord, and it's not exactly real. It's a reflection. We used the example yesterday continuously that if you hold something in front of the mirror, that same object is reflected in the mirror, but the object in the mirror and the object in front of it will act differently. You can benefit from the object in front of it, but from the object in the mirror, it is simply a reflection, and therefore it has no actual existence. So again, this material world is like a dazzling reflection in reality. The reality is the spiritual world. So here, note the words that Prabhupada uses. By such illusionary action of Prakriti, illusionary, even dead matter is caused to move by the cooperation of the living energy of the Lord. And the material world appears like a dramatic performance to the ignorant eyes. So here we are on this stage of material existence, and everything that happens around us is a reflection of the reality and is being moved by the spiritual energy, which is the energy of the Lord. And because matter itself is dead. It's jada. It has no life itself. But the scientists, and Prabhupada will now explain, the ignorant person, therefore, might even be a scientist or a physiologist in the drama of Prakriti, while the same person knows Prakriti as the illusionary energy as the Lord. So Prabhupada is giving a very strong statement here that even great persons who are thinkers and try to figure out this material energy, they actually become caught up in the same energy. Just like a person who wants to enjoy smoking becomes addicted by the situation of nicotine and becomes controlled by that thing that they try to enjoy. So when we try to enjoy matter, we actually get controlled by that same matter. But such a conclusion, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, is clear that the living entities are also a display of the Lord's superior energy. That's us. Although we're in the material energy, we are not material, we're spiritual. Prakriti means energy, para means transcendental. So just as the material world is a display of the Lord's inferior energy, the apara prakriti, the superior energy of the Lord cannot be as good as the Lord, although there is very little difference between the energy and the possessor of the energy, or the fire and the heat. You can raise it up again. Yeah, I can't see anymore. Go higher up the page. Yeah, keep going up so you don't have to move it so often. Yeah, that's good. So here, Prabhupada says, although we are spiritual, we are not on the same level as the Lord. And he makes the difference that here, and Prabhupada shows the difference. Fire is possessed of heat, but heat is not fire. We are of the same quality of the Lord, but we are not of the same quantity. Just like we are spirit and he is spirit, but he is the supreme spirit, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko Bahodan Vidadati Kama, who is controlling everything. And we are also of the same nature as God, but of this lesser quality. And we have a tendency to fall under either one of the two energies of God, either the material or the spiritual. That's why we are called marginal, or sitting on the fence. This simple thing is not understood by the man with a poor fund of knowledge, who falsely claims that the fire and the heat are the same. That they say, well, because we are spirit, we are also the absolute principle of spirit. Well, we are not. We are, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad, my vamso jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana, masastani indriyani prakriti stani karshati. That the living entities are fragmental parts of the Supreme Lord, and they are struggling with this material energy. The fire, the energy of fire, namely heat, is explained here as a reflection and not directly the fire. So the material world is like the heat, and the spiritual world is like the fire. Therefore, the living entities represented by the living entities in the reflection of the Lord, and never the Lord himself. Being the reflection of the Lord, the existence of the living entity becomes dependent on the Lord, who is the original light. So yeah, just like the light within your house is dependent on the powerhouse. If the powerhouse is not giving out energy, you get no light in your room. This material energy may be compared to darkness, as actually it is darkness. Yeah, just like we see. And the activities of the living entities in the darkness are reflections of the original light. Interesting point. The activities of the living entities in the darkness are reflections of the original light. In other words, we have our existence in the spiritual world, but now we are in this world of darkness, material world. So these are reflections of our original activities, which are fraught by difficulties and ultimately They are temporary. So they don't give the same light, nor can they give the same benefit. That's interesting. Just like this material world, it's dark. There's no actual light coming from the material world. Everything is coming from the outside. So the sun is giving light to the earth and heat, of course. The moon does the same. Electricity is simply the energy of the Lord that is being harnessed to provide some kind of artificial light. But ultimately, this world has no light itself. It's dark. It's cold. It's dark. It's lifeless. The presence of the sun gives life to the material energy. Otherwise, there's no one can live on this place. It's just dark and cold. That's all. It's the sun, but who has created the sun? Not the scientists, that's for sure. The sun is created by the Lord, who energizes the sun, as we heard from the beginning of this purport, by his bodily effulgence. Therefore, the sun is energized by the what is called the Brahma Jyoti, and the moon also, and electricity also. Any energy, any lighting energy is coming from the Brahma Jyoti, which is the bodily rays of Krishna. Similarly, no one can come out of the material existence simply by the reflected light of the common man. One has to receive the light from the original light, reflection, light itself. In other words, we can't come out by our own efforts. We have to come out by the mercy of the Lord himself, who is the original light. The reflection of sunlight in the darkness is unable to drive out the darkness, but sunlight outside the reflection can drive out the darkness completely. The darkness, no one can see things in the room. Therefore, a person in the dark is afraid of snakes and scorpions, although there may be not such things. Just like sometimes you're in a room and all of a sudden there's no light. And all of a sudden you start to think there's something else in this room that may not be beneficial for me. The darkness creates this fear. Some, of course, some can overcome it, but many of us, even if we're not fearful, we feel a little bit uneasy in the darkness because we cannot see. And therefore, you may imagine that things are there, but they're not there. And things that are not there may actually be there. But in the light, the things in the room can be clearly seen, and the fear of snakes and scorpions is at once removed. Therefore, one has to take shelter of the light of the Lord, as it in the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, and not the reflective personalities who have no touch with the Lord. In other words, get your knowledge from the source of knowledge, and not the material knowledge that comes from the plan makers and the powerful thinkers in this world, who are actually also entrapped by the same energy that they talk about controlling. No one should hear Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam from a person who does not believe in the existence of the Lord. Otherwise, it's just pretense. Such a person is already doomed, and any association with such a doomed person makes the associator also doomed. It's a very important part. Sometimes we see devotees and others, we like to go hear from other sources other than what Srila Prabhupada has given in his lectures and in his books. It's called this idea that there's something there that I need to hear from someone else. And sometimes we listen and we get attracted to it, and we get a little bit, and then we start to ask questions based on, well, I heard this from this, but then I hear this in another place is different. So then, yeah, but if you hear from the bona fide source, and we can see from the example of how Srila Prabhupada spread Krishna consciousness all around the world, simply by his Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavatam was there also. but the Bhagavad Gita was the first. And people were reading Bhagavad Gita for thousands of years. But how many people, I mean, at least outside of the continent of India, were actually taking up Krishna consciousness seriously? Hardly any. But therefore, Prabhupada's Gita, as he titled it, Bhagavad Gita as it is, or that means Bhagavad Gita as Krishna wants it to be understood. In other words, coming from the source with the intention of the speaker and not by someone else's manipulation or philosophical speculation. So when one should not hear from such a person, one will also become doomed to get wrong information. Okay, go down the page and let's finish up the purport here. Okay, according to the Padma Purana, within the material compass, there are innumerable material universes, and all of them are full of darkness. Interesting. The universes are full of darkness, but where they get their light, of course, from the sun. Any living being, beginning from the Brahmanas, there are innumerable Brahmanas in the innumerable universes, to the insignificant ant, are all born in darkness, and they require factual light from the Lord to see him directly, just as the sun can be seen only by the direct light of the sun. So we only can understand and see the Lord by the mercy of the Lord, and not by anything else. No lamp or man-made torchlight, however powerful may be, can help one see the sun. The sun reveals itself. Krishna reveals himself to the devotee when the devotee is qualified to receive that mercy. Therefore, the action of the different energies of the Lord, or the personality of God himself, can be realized by the light manifested by the causeless mercy of the Lord. And that causeless mercy is being distributed by the great souls who are spiritual masters, who travel everywhere, write books, and teach the conditioned souls by uplifting them from the material to the spiritual through transcendental knowledge and practical activity in service to the Lord. The impersonalists say that God cannot be seen. God can be seen by the light of God and not by man-made speculations. Sometimes people say, well, I want to see God. Well, that's nice, but what qualifications do you have to see God? Just like you might say, a blind man might say, I want to see, the movie that's being played now. But because he's blind, he can't see, even though he may have a desire. So anyone can say, I want to see God, but one has to have the eyes to see God. Premanjamitam bhakti vilochanena santasa daiva hridayesha vyokananti yam shama sundar chinta guna sarupam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. This is the vision which allows one to actually see the Lord, and that is when the eyes are not simply seeing through the principle of vision, but are seeing through the eyes of love. When the eyes are smeared with love, then one can see Krishna. Here, this light is specifically called or mentioned as Vidyat, which is an order by the Lord to Brahma. The Lord is speaking to Brahma. This direct order of the Lord is the manifestation of his internal energy, and this particular energy is the means of seeing the Lord face to face, not through the material energy, but through the internal energy, by the arrangement of the Lord. Not only Brahma, but anyone who may be graced by the Lord to see such merciful, direct internal energy can also realize the personality of Godhead without any mental speculation. So the final line says, not just Brahma is the only one that's qualified, but every living entity can also be qualified by becoming connected to the internal energy of the Lord. Okay, so we can stop there and open it up for
Thank you
some
so much, Marge,
discussion.
for this wonderful class. I'm going to stop sharing. It's a really, really power-packed. Actually, as you were giving the class, I was having this realization that this verses need to be, we need to hear it over and over and over again. It's so deep and so intricate and so powerful. Would like to ask, request your voice to please turn on your camera wherever possible. And if you have any questions, any comments, please do raise your hands. So, Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your lotus feet, all glories to the Sambhu devotees. Guru Maharaj, a lot of spiritual seekers say that everything is light, like we are light beings, or the source is light. So in that sense, that is what Srila Prabhupada is saying in this purport. But they don't understand that there is a cause of a light. So in that sense, are they half correct, these other spiritual seekers, or is it a different understanding that
It's a limited understanding. It's not the full understanding. And because it's not the full understanding, it remains incorrect. Full understanding is we are a fraction of that same light that is the source of all light. Krishna is, he is pure spiritual energy, and as it says, Ishwar Parma Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadar Govinda, he is the source of all existence. That verse was quoted here in the purport, that I am the source of everything material and spiritual. Everything comes from me. So if we think that we are the source of our own existence, that would be somewhat foolish. And then how would you trace out that principle? There's no logic to it. How can you think I'm the source of my own existence, but I have no knowledge how I came into my existence? You could speculate and create some fictitious words, but you can't actually come to the actual reality that we are a fraction of that same light. Jiva means tiny or infinitesimal. Krishna is infinite and we are infinitesimal. Everything has both what is called the full size and just like there is water, but there's drops. So the drops are also water, but they're not as full as the bowl of water or the tank of water. So we're like a drop in relationship to the ocean. But still, because we have the same quality, but you can't swim in the drop. That's for sure. So we are limited, although we are still of the same nature. But our limitedness is due to our connection with the material energy. When we become liberated from the material energy and pure in consciousness, then we can experience our own unlimited nature. And we express that unlimited nature in the form of serving the Lord in different ways. Yeah, so yeah, to say everyone is light is nice, but where is the source of that light? It's like saying, well, when I turn on the switch in my house, I get light. That means the switch is the source of the light. No, it's the powerhouse that's connecting to the different power lines that are distributed throughout the area. And then the switch just allows that same energy to come into your room in the form of light. But without the source, the switch can't do anything. And if there's a break in the line, then your switch will not do anything either.
And Guru Maharaj, how do we become eligible to receive our vidya? Is it through service?
How do we become eligible to receive?
The vidya, the light, the knowledge through light.
How to become qualified?
Yes.
When tadvidi pratipatena paripasyena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. To receive knowledge, one has to have three qualifications. One, paripatena, that means humility or humbleness. Paripasyena, inquiry, desire to understand through the process of questioning. And the last part, which is just as necessary as the first two, is that one has to be willing to engage in service. We were speaking about this yesterday. There's people who just like to study and they want to understand the absolute truth through philosophical speculations by reading so many books. When it comes to doing service, they're not there. Therefore, their study will go on forever because that knowledge won't manifest into realization until one actually surrenders themselves to the service of the Lord. So these three principles, humility, inquisitiveness, and a desire to serve.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Sadhana leads to seva, and seva leads to sadhya, which means goal. Seva means service.
Maharaj, you said sadhana leads to seva and seva leads to sadhya.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all connected, they're interchangeable, but it starts off with sadhana. Hearing and chanting and inquiring into the nature of the absolute truth.
Thank you, Maharaj. Just want to make that note
That's,
down.
that's what Brahma's doing. He's inquiring. But then he'll be active in his service and doing service for the Lord. He will not just simply inquire, but he will use the knowledge he receives from the Lord to execute his service to the Lord.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Bhavani Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Nityana. Sort of touching on this, I find it very interesting. I feel like I'm surrounded by self-deifiers, coming from the sort of Western spiritual tradition or whatever. Everybody's God, you see that notion, if you're ever unfortunate enough to look at the Facebook or spiritual book or whatever, everybody's God. I am, and it just, hearing the this tattva about our separation, but the your way of saying we can't swim in the drop today, boy, is that, I mean, just perfect way of stating that relationship between the fragment we have versus the ocean of the Lord. So I guess, I mean, it's a sort of a realization, but that I am God business, boy, are people bewildered out there. I mean, none of these people are creating a thing. And doesn't that seem like that's, one of the major, if you were to say, that you had that.
Yeah, I met a few of these gods during my sojourn in Krishna consciousness. I know exactly what you're talking about. They're very good at speaking, and they think by their philosophical word jugglery, they're creating some kind of truth. Yeah, so as you say, those who are unfortunate will go to Facebook. One of my godbrothers who's very senior, he calls it disgrace book. Yeah, people want to profile of themselves in different ways, and just to get a following like that. How many people, connect to my Facebook page, and if the numbers are going up, that means everybody's really realizing how wonderful I am.
I'm God.
God, Dog. Yeah, yeah. If you're God, then I mean, you can dispel that. Just recently, one devotee was telling me he was preaching in one place in the UK. It was in Liverpool, which is, I mean, the devotee's been preaching there for a while. And it's been good. So they invite people to come. So one man, he was there and he came to the lecture. And after he met the leader of the group, the devotee who was leading it. So he was speaking to him, and the man said, "Well, I am God. I'm God." So this devotee said, "Well, if you're God, tell me what I'm thinking about right now." And the man got really angry. He got completely angry and frustrated and couldn't say anything, and he just walked away. So I mean, to expose these devotees, these people, it's really easy. Even using logic and reason, you can expose them. And there's a few of them that may be a little bit more advanced where they can they have some mystic power. But that's another form of material manipulation. That's all that is. Yeah. Houdini, I mean, you must have heard of Houdini.
Yes.
Yeah, they used to put him in a box, very tightly sealed box, and wrap chains around it and throw the box in the river, and he would get out. There was a man not long ago, I think it was about 10 years ago, he did a magic trick in New York. He put a curtain in front of the what was it? What was that?
Liberty
Statue,
State.
the Statue of Liberty.
David
And then
Copperfield.
he pulled the curtain away, and it was Statue of Liberty was gone. She wasn't gone, but it was by his power that he made people perceive that actually what they were seeing was not what they were seeing. They were seeing something different. So yeah, I mean, Krishna speaks about these mystic powers in the 11th canto. There's 8 primary mystic powers, and there's 10 secondary mystic powers. And Krishna speaks about them and describes them. And at the end, he says it's just a waste of time. He just goes through it just to let you know what it's like, and don't worry, don't try to become involved in such things. It's still material. That's all. Yeah.
I hope
So
that
you
helped, Balavan. Sorry, go ahead, Marge.
don't get enamored by these so-called gods walking around.
Well, they seem ridiculous. It's just, when you have a sort of inkling through hearing and, the actual opulences of the Lord, truly humans who say that they are dogs, I mean, they have the power and
Well,
understanding of.
it's easy to expose them. One devotee said to one man, he said he was God. He said, "If you're God, just give me $1 million."
Easy one. That should be no problem for God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
I mean, yeah,
Thank you.
just to, just we stay away from such personalities because it's just a circus, that's all it is. Mhm.
Thank you, Marge. Any questions from devotees, please do raise your hand. or you can put it in the chat and I will be happy to read it to Marge. Marge, when you were going through the verses, it appears that everything is connected. Of course, everything is connected to the main source. Like when you were speaking about, lighting the lamp, the light, it's not that the switch is the source, that's the power. So everything is finally going back to the source, which is Krishna. And sometimes, March, we run into people where they say, well, if Krishna is the source, I can just go directly to the source. Why do I have to go through a medium, which is the guru? Like, why do I need that?
All right. Well, if you want to see the big man, then you may have to make arrangements to do that. And then you may not necessarily get that opportunity. Just like Prabhupada said, if you want to see the president and you say, well, you send a letter to his secretary, you may not even get to him, but to speak about getting an opportunity to meet him. So you qualify yourself, and then you can see Krishna directly. Krishna is not a small. He's not an ordinary person you can just go see. He's the supreme source of all existence, the power within all of creation. And he's not, and he's pure spirit. We're still seeing things through material eyes, also.
Mhm.
So we're not qualified to, connect with Krishna directly. We can connect with Krishna directly through the process of serving Krishna, and that's done by following the instructions of the spiritual master. So there is a direct connection with Krishna through his energy and not directly. When you go back to the spiritual world, then you can see him directly. You can even see him now in this world, when you're in this world, directly. Just like go into the temple and there he is on the altar. But can you actually see him as he is? You can see something. You see something very attractive, very beautiful. But according to your bhakti, some devotee will come in front of the deity and just stand there with folded hands, and others will see the deity and start crying because there's more devotion, there's more eagerness. So yeah, it's a qualification. Become qualified, and then you can see the Lord.
Marge, I asked this question because I was having a little discussion on Radhastami from one devotee who was he's been coming to our temple for a long time, a well-wisher, almost like a little over 10, 15 years. And he asked me a question during the prasadam time, what he asked me, Mataji, what makes you keep going? Is it it must be Krishna's mercy. I said, through the spiritual master. And then he says, why Guru Kripa? And then we got in a whole debate about it, and he just doesn't, and I went through everything that you even mentioned, and it's somehow it's just not getting into his head, because he says, well, Krishna is my father. I can just go directly to him. Why do I have to go through the spiritual master? And I
Go
quoted,
ahead, tell him to go ahead, give it a try. See how much he gains.
yeah.
He might get a certain aspect of the Supreme Lord he doesn't like a nice kick.
Yes, Maharaj, absolutely. A nice kick, But yeah,
What makes
anything in
them,
it.
what people think they're qualified to see the Supreme Lord, simply by their own desire.
Yes,
You can't even
Maharaj.
see a big person in this by your own desire.
Yes, Maharaj. It's just funny because all the examples that I use, from the mayor to the president to, anything that's material, he gets all that. But why Krishna? like, but he's right there. I said, but you can't see him.
What is the closest thing to your eyes?
What is the closest thing to my eye?
Eyelid.
Your eyelid.
Oh, okay.
Can you see your own eyelid?
No, no,
But if you
not
see
at
a
all.
mirror, you can see it. So you
Yes.
need help to see the closest thing to you. So we need help to get us to be able to qualify to be able to meet the Lord directly. And that help comes by the mercy of the spiritual master.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Marge. Yes, I think I'll just tell him to just go try it and he might get a kick. That might be his best bet.
Well, he might see something that he thinks is God, but it's not.
Yes. Yes, Marge. Thank you, Marge.
People imagine so many things.
Yeah. Marge, I think sometimes it's because they are just so hesitant or they don't want to give up their comfort to surrender to the process. So they just think just going to Krishna directly, I don't have to go to chant 16 rounds. I don't have to go for this. I don't have to do this. Just go straight shot, That's my speculation. That's my guess.
Yeah. What can you do? Just tell them good luck. We hope you make.
Yes, Marge. Thank you. Sridevi, it's all
But
yours.
they can see something in you that is wonderful. That means you're doing so much to serve and taking so much what we say uh, sacrifice just to serve. They're saying, where are you getting all that from? And you said from your spiritual master. But they can't understand that because they don't have a spiritual master, nor do they know what a spiritual master is.
Absolutely, Marge. They don't understand that it is coming from the spiritual master. The first thing is, oh, it's Krishna. I said, yeah, but to the spiritual master, like duh.
Mukam karoti vachalam, pangalagise girim, yat kripa taraham bande, Shri Guru Ninatarinam. By the mercy of the spiritual master, a blind man can see the stars, a lame man can cross mountains, and a dumb man can recite beautiful poetry. And we
Yes.
see that. That is not simply some eulogy or some hyperbole. We're seeing how people who were so low in material life, they came to Krishna consciousness. Now they're doing wonderful things to help other people and also practicing Krishna consciousness very, what we say, nicely, completely.
Yes. Thank you,
Prabhupada said, the government's trying to make different programs to stop people from taking drugs. But we say, as soon as they join the Hare Krishna movement, no more drugs.
Yep. No more drugs.
But what is the real magic of our movement, at least from the external perception? What is the real magic, which you don't see anywhere else? You hardly see it anywhere else. That we have people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different economic situations, different languages, all together worshiping the Supreme Lord. Usually people stay in their own groups. You'll
Yes.
see that everywhere. But our group is such variegated in language and culture and in background. That's unique. Then
Much.
Prabhupada said, we are the real United Nation.
Yes. I was about to say that, Marge. Yes. Yes. Prabhupada said that we are the real United Nations. Yes.
Yeah, because we were united around the real king.
Yes.
the only king.
Wow. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Sri Devi, it's all yours.
Thank you, Ansuya. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, this last two lines of the purport, I have a question about that. This direct order of the Lord is a manifestation of his internal energy, and this particular energy is the means of seeing the Lord face to face. Not only Brahma, but anyone who may be graced by the Lord to see such merciful direct internal energy can also realize the personality of Godhead without any mental speculation. So when we are talking about the direct internal energy, does this mean that first we are graced by the Lord to see Radharani and then only we can realize him?
What does it mean to see? I think what it means is to realize. You can see something, but you may not understand what it is. But when you see something and you realize what it actually is, that's actually seeing. So if you're actually looking at a deity of Radharani and you just think it's a deity, but if you actually know that Srimati Radharani non-different, then that's a different understanding. And if you actually, become overwhelmed with love and devotion when you see Radharani, then you're actually seeing. So there's different levels of seeing. But the complete seeing is that it awakens devotion within the heart. Or loving devotion, not just devotion. That devotion that is imbued with affection.
That helped, Sri Devi?
We want to feel affection for the Lord. Then we know we're making progress in spiritual life. We don't have any affection for the Lord, then we have a ways to go.
I see. So this direct internal energy here is simply love and devotion to the Lord, not necessarily that we see Radharani first and then we see Krishna. It's not like that.
Yeah, it's a realization. It's not simply some vision that the eyes take in.
Thank you,
This is
Maharaj.
the internal energy. The internal energy is the pure spiritual energy.
Hope that helps, Sri Devi. Thank you. Any questions from devotees?
Thank you.
This is a very deep topic. The main verses, the four main verses, and it's a very topic that makes us want to think and think. That was a very nice question, Sri Devi. And Maharaj, Marge, how I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but how do we know, or will we know, or realize what we are seeing is the Lord? Like you said, when we see Radharani, realizing and seeing are two different things. So how can we differentiate, or how can we tell that we are actually seeing and not just having a,
Premanjaritam bhakti vilochanena santasa daiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. That is seeing. When you see with the eye of love, then you're seeing.
Mm. Mm. And
Because we have natural love for the Lord. It's natural. To love the Lord is natural. It's not artificial, or it's not something we have to create. It's there within us. Our love for Krishna is within us. It's there. It's just covered. That's all. So when the coverings start to fall away, that love starts to manifest.
And Margie, even that would be definitely by the mercy of the spiritual master, because our eyes are so covered by ignorance. If we remember the Shri Guru Vandana prayers, yeah.
Chanting the holy name is the direct way to awaken love for Krishna. Because the stages of purification come by way of the chanting of the holy name. So if you want to really develop love for Krishna, you can do 2 or 3 things. One, chant as much as you can. Chant with devotion. I'll read something. Let's see, where is it? Let me go get it. Take me a second.
Sure, Marge.
I think I sent this to, it might have been to you, David. Was the 6 qualities to perfect one's chanting? Did I send that to you, Sri?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, and I sent it to the group.
Oh, that's what I
I
was
still
gonna,
have it with me.
yeah. So if you want, I mean, we're chanting, but we really have to know how to approach the holy name. And there's 6 principles: mana, samharanam, concentrating the mind, and then it gives some practice silence. Sit down and become silent for a few minutes. Contemplate the mantra's meaning. Develop patience and steadfastness. While chanting japa, focus the mind in one place. In other words, on the sound vibration. Be pure in your consciousness. That means do not speak about anything useless. Meditate on the meaning of the holy name and take shelter of the quality of patience. In this way, show affectionate respect towards Krishna's name and ultimately engage in Nam Smaranam. Maintain both physical cleanliness, body, and keep the area that you chant in very clean, and develop mental purity. That means positive, pure thoughts and feelings. So all these support the chanting of the holy name. That's number 1. Number 2 is cleanliness and purity. Avoid speaking, reading, looking at messages, or watching anything during your japa practice. 3, silence. A simple meaning is, please engage me in your service, or please accept me. I think you can also pray like that while you're chanting. Mantra chintanam, contemplate the meaning of the mantra. Don't rush your chanting to complete a fixed number of rounds. Chant nicely, without any haste. Don't lose hope when results don't come as quickly as expected. Remain patient. Repeatedly bring the mind back when it wanders. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, wherever the mind wanders, bring it back under the control of the self. So these are some. So he practiced developing our japa, and we regularly hear about the pastimes of Krishna, his activities with his devotees in different incarnations, particularly his activities in Sri Vrindavan Dham with his internal associates. These 2 things, chanting, hearing about, and reading about Krishna's pastimes, taking only prasadam offered to the Lord, like that, and taking opportunity to associate with, and serve the Vaishnavas. If you do these 4 things, you can reach pure love of God.
Thank you so much, Mark, for sharing that list. Amazing. Sridevi, if you can share that again on that group, I think I may have missed it. I would like to have that too if you have it easily accessible, Prabhu.
Yes, sure, no problem.
Thank you. Any questions from devotees? Anything? I know it's a pretty in-depth topic, and any question can be asked, even if something that Mars spoke yesterday, the day before, something even a week before, please do ask. It's a very wonderful time to get our questions clarified, doubts removed, anything. Yes, Anjali Kumari, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. Guru Maharaj, right now when you were telling how to feel pure love of Lord, so you were saying while we chant, we should not see messages or phone on. Like I'm far away from the temple, so is it right to switch to Mangala Aarti online and then chant? Just put it on phone and then chant. Is it correct?
Well, the acharyas, especially the local acharyas, say you have to create a sacred space within your house where your full attention is simply on devotional activities. One room in your house where maybe you have some pictures, you have an altar, it's clean like that, where you can sit and not get distracted by the paraphernalia in your house, which you need to use during the day for your activities. One of the ways to get easily distracted is when we chant in our house, we start seeing things around us which remind us of the activities that we need to do throughout the day. So that can be a major distraction. It's a major, so you have to find what is called, you have to create the sacred space if you can't go to the temple. That takes a little work. You find one room and fix it up, and that'll be the bhajan room, the room for worship, the room for chanting.
And Guru Maharaj, it is
Not a room
fine.
where it can't be the same room you sleep in either, or you do your work in either. Has to be separate. And if you need more space, like some devotees like to walk, when you walk, don't look around. Look at the ground when you walk. That way there's nothing to see down there. So if you're walking around, look downward, and that way you won't be distracted by the environment around you. So you have to use certain techniques to facilitate your japa. If you just go any place and chant, then you may chant, but you may not be able to concentrate due to the atmosphere that is full of distractions. If you close your eyes and chant, then what happens is the mind becomes stronger and the thoughts of the mind start flowing into the mind when you close your eyes. When you keep your eyes open, then the atmosphere around you seems to be taken in. So what do you do? The idea is the yogis have half eyes. Ever see a half-eyed yogi? Their eyes are half open and half closed. They actually don't see anything, but at the same time, their eyes are not closed. If you can do that, that's an asset. Sit properly, carefully chant the mantra, As it says, don't be in a rush. Don't be unhappy if you're not getting any transcendental happiness from chanting. Just be patient and continue to develop your chanting. Chanting is cultivation of the quality of our relationship with Krishna through the medium of his holy name. There's many books that devotees have written, and there's many statements that are there available about chanting, how to improve your chanting, what is the benefit of chanting, so many things. There are prayers you can offer before you chant, even prayers you can offer during your japa, and there's prayers you can conclude with at the end of your prescribed chanting. You have to make chanting very serious. If you just whimsically just do it, you won't get much out of it. And you'll start to think there's more important things to do than chanting.
I'll
Hope
try
that
to implement.
helped.
Yes. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
I
Hare
think
Krishna.
I think you had a second question too. No, was it answered?
No, I actually included that, Mataji, that
Okay.
in the morning we go for Mangla Aarti, right? Online
Okay.
it is available, Mayapur Mangla Aarti. So I usually nowadays have started with Mangla Aarti. I play that and I chant. So, but then, yeah,
Very
now
nice.
I am.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Any
Hare
other
Krishna.
questions from devotees that you would like to ask? Please. Yes, Revati, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all assembled devotees. Thank you very much for this class. I always had this question about seeing Krishna. I want to just clarify it further, my understanding about I always had a feeling that I'm an impersonalist. As you explained, like impersonalist is like a state of consciousness, and personalist like you're worshipping Krishna in a personal form. So, but I think I just want to like clarify my understanding is correct. But today's question by Sridevi Mataji, I felt that, like personalist means like you're developing, even though you're worshipping Krishna's personal form, if you're not developing that love and devotion, that means you are an impersonalist. So if you develop the transcendental qualities and you're realizing Krishna, that means you're like, seeing Krishna. Is that right, Guru Maharaj?
It's a process of purification. Yeah. Don't expect to apply all the terminologies and expect to see Krishna just because everything is in place. Everything is in place. Now you can begin to get purified.
So,
as Prabhupada said, initiation means what's the answer, Anasuya? Initiation means what? What did Prabhupada say?
Raj, I don't remember that, but what I was
Beginning. It's the beginning.
beginning, yeah, Vishwagata Prabhu said it's the beginning, baby. Because people think that it means I'm advanced, but it means you're just beginning.
Yeah, you're practicing to begin, and then when you get initiated, now you're beginning. You're doing the same thing, but now there's the mercy of the spiritual master, which comes with both practical and philosophical guidance, along with the acceptance of the vows that will keep you connected to the process of bhakti.
yes.
Initiation means beginning. Prabhupada said it many times. So don't think you're doing nothing until you're initiated. No, it means you're practicing to begin. Before you can dive into the water, you might want to feel how warm the water is, how deep it is in different places, you're getting a feel before you actually can dive in.
Yes, Gurumaharaj. Sure. Yeah, I think for me, hearing these classes are really helping me to understand my material.
Nasta prayeshu abhadrasham nityam bhagavata sevaya.
Very nice question, Revati.
Thank you.
Mamarj, I have a question to follow with what Revati says is, we have been told so many times that initiation means beginning, yet, and I really like how you said we are practicing before initiation, we are practicing to begin. And sometimes devotees say, what? So I haven't even begun yet? I have to be in practice to begin. Then why do the practice? Like I've had a couple of devotees ask me that, why do the practice if I have to begin again, kind of a thing, So how
You
can
better,
we?
you better learn to swim before you go into the deep water,
Hmm,
or else you'll drown.
yes, that's the answer, Marge. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you so that I know how to answer them because that seemed to be a challenge because sometimes I think also much because we live in a world where everything is so quick, everybody wants it like a touch of a button, People don't want to put so much effort and time and work in it. So when we tell them you're practicing to begin, they're like, huh?
And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 lifetimes what to speak about, instantaneously.
Yes, Marge. Yes. Sridevi, go
Generally,
ahead.
it says it takes 2 lifetimes to go back to God. Generally,
Mhm.
but in rare cases, one can make it in one life. But generally,
Wow.
it's the scriptures say, and Prabhupada has also mentioned it. Generally, it takes 2 lifetimes to actually complete the process. And that means serious execution of devotional service through both lifetimes. And you have to understand, this process is not a cheap process. What are you getting? You're getting eternal life of happiness and knowledge. You're freeing yourself from all suffering, and all of your desires are fulfilled perfectly and completely. This is nothing cheap. It's not something you can go to a store and buy. Even if you have $1 million, you can't buy it. Even if you have 100 crores, you can't buy it. It's nothing. It's nothing. This is not a cheap process. To go back home, back to God, and after being in the material world for millions of births in different species of life, suffering and enjoying the threefold miseries. This is serious business.
Thank you, Marge. Yeah. Wow. And we have to be reminded, I have to be reminded that every single time. It's not cheap business.
Not cheap at all.
No,
Mm. Therefore,
rare.
it's only available for those who are actually willing to accept whatever it takes to achieve the goal and not try to create something different or something new.
Thank you, Marge.
But
Yes.
but the feature of Lord Chaitanya's presence in this particular age has made it, when we say 80% easier,
Mm-hmm.
at least that much easier. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made the process really easy. For those who worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they'll understand everything.
He made it so easy, like from just going by the yugas, so easy. Thank you, Marge.
He's
Sridevi?
Namo Mahamanaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gauda Tristena Maha. It's not a small verse. He's the most magnanimous, magnificent. He's giving the highest to the lowest. By the presence of Lord Chaitanya, everything has become wonderful. What would take hundreds of lifetimes now can be done in 1 or 2 lifetimes by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya.
Wow. Merciful, very merciful. Yes,
Extremely
Maharaj.
merciful. We can't understand it.
And beyond our comprehension, beyond our conceptions, like amazing.
Way beyond.
Yes. Wow. It's like free, like just take it. Wow.
He's forcing you to take it. Bore suke kabugai. Bore suke kabugai. Gura, what is it? Guranda Eche Vahir Numaid. What is that song? Karangi Priya. Go to what is it?
হরে কৃষ্ণ গুরু ধন্যবাদ বড় সুখের খবর গাই সুরভি কুঞ্জিতে নামের হাত খুলেছে খোদ নিতাই এক বড় সুখের খবর গাই সুরভি কুঞ্জিতে নামের হাত খুলেছে খোদ নিতাই
Kodanitai.
lines.
That's a beautiful bhajan. He said, read that bhajan. Koda Nitai. Koda means merchant or businessman.
Yeah.
It's not Gornitai, it's Koda Nitai. Koda Nitai.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. So sweet. Sridevi, you're on.
I was thinking how merciful is the Lord in this age of Kali that he has sent Srila Prabhupada, who has given us the perfect process. We have all heard of stories of how one person came across one devotee, picked up one book, and after which they never saw devotees again, or they never came in touch with the movement, but they held on to the words of Prabhupada, that air hostess who met him just once. And then she was in some remote village, and her whole home she had converted into like a temple. She was chanting, she was praying to the Lord, and the devotee came across her after 20, 30 years, and she had become a devotee simply by that chance encounter with Srila Prabhupada. We also hear of how devotees never met other devotees. They simply received a book, they started chanting, they started following the process, and how they became fixed in devotional service without ever going to a temple, without ever meeting any other devotee. So this process is so potent and so powerful that any one of us, if we take it up sincerely, I think that Lord Chaitanya will be pleased with that sincerity and will help us to reach his lotus feet. That's how I feel very strongly that Prabhupada has come to lift up every one of us, however fallen we are, however undeserving we are. All we have to do is just become a little bit sincere. I'm preaching to myself here.
What is that? What's that verse? By Krishna Das Kavi Raj Goswami. Oh. Can't think of it. No, I can't remember. By Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. Muki. No, that's not it. Well, he just throws himself in the most lowest position. What is it? Anyone? Can you think of that one, Garangi Priya?
Oh, Guru Maharaj.
He says, I am lower than Jagai and Madai. What is that verse?
Mhm.
Uh, anyone who chants my name, all his pious activities will be destroyed. Anyone who hears my name, then all of his good qualities are gone. What is that verse he sings? Right, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. That's the translation anyway.
Maharaj, is it Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 5.205? I am more sinful than Jaga and Mada and even lower than the worms in the stool. Is that it?
Yeah, what's the Bengali?
I'm gonna open that verse now, Maharaj. Jagai Madai Haite Mune Se Papishta
Yeah, that's
Purush
it.
Purishera Kita Haite Mune Se Lagista.
Yeah,
Adi Lila chapter 5, verse 205.
yeah. So he's feeling that low, but he knows by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, everything is possible. Papista, yeah. What does Bhakti Vinod Thakur says? Amara Jivan, Sade Pape Rate, Nahi Opoyera Lesa. You know that one, Garangi Priya? Amara Jivan, Sade Pape Rate, Nahi Opolera Lesa.
আমার জীবন সদা পাপে রত নাহি কো পুণ্যের লেশ পরের উদ্বেগ দিয়াছি যে কত দিয়াছি জীবের ক্লেশ নিজ সুখ লাগি পাপে নাহি ডরি দয়াহীন স্বার্থপর পর সুখে দুঃখী সদা মিথ্যা ভাসি পর সুখ পর দুঃখ সুখ কর অশেষ কামনা হৃদি মাঝে মোরো ক্রোধী দম্ভ পরায়ণ মদ মত্ত সদা বিষয়ে মোহিত হিংসা গর্ব বিভূষণ নিদ্রালস্য হত সুকার্যে বিরত অকার্যে উদ্যোগী আমি প্রতিষ্ঠা লাগিয়া স্বার্থ আচরণ লোভ হত সদা কামী এহেন দুর্জন সজ্জন বর্জিত অপরাধী নিরন্তর শুভ কার্য শূন্য সদা নর্থ মনা নানা দুঃখে জর বার্ধক্যে এখনো উপায় বিহীন তাতে দিন কিঞ্জন ভকতি বিনোদ প্রভুর চরণে করে দুঃখ নিবেদন
Jai.
হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে
Amara Jivan. Yeah,
So beautiful.
you want to get the translation, turn to that Amara Jivan. Amara Jivan. Can you do that,
My
Anasuya?
life is always painful.
Get
Yes,
the
March. I just pulled it up.
Amara Jivan.
I'm going to share that now.
Let's go to the translation.
Is it visible, Marge?
We need, well, that way you can't read it. You have to do it in, has to be seen in verse form.
I,
Yeah, I'm running you on here. Yeah, there you go.
oops.
Yeah.
There we go.
Want to read it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I did something to my screen and it's acting funny now. I
No, I
am
just took
pious.
over and put it there. I'm co-host.
Perfect. So you are on, so that's you doing it. Perfect. Go ahead, Sri Devi.
I'm an impious sinner and have caused others great anxiety and trouble. I have never hesitated to perform sinful acts for my own enjoyment, devoid of all compassion, concerned only with my own selfish interests. I am remorseful seeing others happy. I'm a perpetual liar, and the misery of others is a source of great pleasure for me. The material desires within the core of my heart are unlimited. I am wrathful, devoted to false pride and arrogance, intoxicated by vanity, and bewildered by worldly affairs. Envy and egotism are the ornaments I wear. Ruined by laziness and sleep, I resist all pious deeds. Yet, I'm very active and enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. For worldly fame and reputation, I engage in the practice of deceitfulness. Thus, I am destroyed by my own greed, and I am always lustful. A vile, wicked man such as this, rejected by godly people, is a constant offender. I am such a person devoid of all good works, forever inclined towards evil, worn out and wasted by various miseries. Now in old age, deprived by all means of success, humbled and poor, Bhakti Vinod submits his tale of grief at the feet of the Supreme Lord.
Hare Krishna. So he's not just speaking some nice words, he's feeling like that. He's a Nitya Siddha. He's come to this world to preach Krishna consciousness. He's a pure devotee of the Lord, but he's feeling like that. So it says the more you make advancement in spiritual life, the more you realize how fallen you are. Because to approach this supreme absolute truth with loving devotion is not a small thing. But it's possible by Lord Chaitanya's supreme, unlimited, kind, compassionate, forgiving mercy.
Marge, it's really amazing when we are reading Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajans and he's feeling it so much, it's like you said, it's not like he's just writing, like just flowery words. Like he's really feeling that. And we know that, he's such a pure devotee of the Lord. How can we, Marge, actually feel that?
You can't. You have,
Yeah,
but
it's like we don't even think that way.
if you make some more advancement, you'll start feeling like that.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, his words are so powerful.
Yeah. The songs of Bhakti Vinod Thakur are deep in the mood of bhakti, deep in the mood of humility, deep in the mood of selflessness.
Very much, Marge. Just so in depth. Really amazing.
This is our culture. This is our tradition.
To develop that real meaning of humility and throwing ourselves at the feet of the Lord. Wow,
You should
amazing.
always think whatever I can do is simply by the mercy of the Lord. And all the mistakes I made is simply due to my own ignorance.
Yes, Marge.
You think like that, and then you won't get proud. But people will say, the psychologist will say, well, this is low self-esteem.
Yes.
They will come up with
Yes.
psychological terms like this is low self-esteem. No. And you go to a psychiatrist, you pay him $75 an hour, and then he tells you after 1 hour of talking to you, he says, you're a very important person. You have so many good qualities. You're number one. Don't get down on yourself. Just understand how good you are, how many things you can do, and just feel happy about that. And so
So true, Maharaj.
they just try to pump you up with this false pride, But when you understand the truth, you understand that this body is simply a bag of ignorance. That's all it is. And we sing that every day. Sarira Vichujal, Jatendriyate, Vive Vele Visaya Sagare, Karmadye Jivayati, Loba Moya Sadormati.
Wow.
What is this body made out of? We don't want to discuss the ingredients because you're all nice people. And we get proud because there's something about the body that other people think is worthy of noticing or having.
Yeah. Reminds me of the drama. What's liquid beauty, something like that. Very
Yeah,
old.
I just told that story just recently.
Yes. Pretty gross.
Not as well, it's right to the
Where does it
point.
tract?
When Prabhupada started his movement in 1944, he began his Back to Godhead magazine, which was just one piece of paper on both sides. One of the editions was Liquid Beauty. That comes right, that was back in the 1940s. Prabhupada was speaking about that. We have to understand one thing: we don't belong in this world. When you understand that, then you can start understanding the means to get out. Don't try to
Yes.
make a nice place. Don't try to make a nice place out of this place. You can't do it because it's not meant to. The material world is meant to teach you what you have forgotten ever since you've been in the material world, that your real happiness is not here. It's in that area where it's of the same nature as your existence, the spiritual world. You are fish out of water when we're in the material world.
And we haven't realized that we are a fish out of water. That's so true, Marge. Wow. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Marge. And Gaurangi Priya Mataji, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful singing. It was just so blissful.
When we speak like this, some people get nervous and they want to turn off the videos. They say,
Hare
Maharaj,
Krishna.
he's just too much of a fanatic. Let's be real.
Oh, we are being real.
We understand the material world is not so good, but it's not that bad.
We are so thankful for every word that comes
Yes.
from your lotus mouth, Guru Maharaj.
Mhm.
Maybe a few of you are, not everybody. Because it's scary.
Not true. Not
It's
true.
actually-
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
But we don't tell you to give up everything. We just say, just dive into Krishna consciousness. And then you'll start to understand everything by your experience. Because you become happy by Krishna consciousness. And then you can leave this so-called happiness of the material world behind. You can't leave it behind unless you have it in somewhere other, in another place.
Thank you, Marge. Yes, Kalindi, go ahead.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hello.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My humble obeisance to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, while chanting, should one focus more on quantity or quality?
Both. Quantity helps to develop quality. The quality is the goal. But you can't get to quality unless you practice quantity. Because developing quality is the process of developing the quality of your chanting. You have to get from the stage of Nam Aparad to the stage of Nam Bas, and from the name stage of Nam Bas to the stage of Sudanam. So you have to purify yourself through the process of chanting. So chant as much as you can, and that will help you develop your purification of consciousness. At the same time, it will protect you from all of the dangers of this material world. At the same time, it will give you the insight how to live your life in a devotional way, and at the same time, organize your material life in such a way that it doesn't interfere with your spiritual life. The holy name gives everything, gives knowledge, gives realization, gives freedom from suffering, gives purification of the heart. It awakens our attraction to Krishna. It gives us our identity of our spiritual identity in the spiritual world. Lord Chaitanya spoke the Shikshastika prayers, and in the first verse, he gave 7 benedictions that come by chanting. So chanting there's so much benefit for chanting. It's just not one aspect about it. But the main feature of chanting is it is meant to please Krishna. And when Krishna is pleased by our chanting, then the door to spiritual life is wide open. Chanting makes reading understandable. Chanting helps us to develop proper relationships with other living entities, both devotees and non-devotees. Chanting even gives you good health. That's a fact, but that's a byproduct.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you, Kalindi.
Any other questions from devotees? We've passed, I think it's a little over an hour and 40 minutes. Just want to make sure that I'm not missing anyone. If no one has a question, Marge, would you like to end with a round of chanting?
There's someone waiting for me, but I will just to acknowledge your request. I will say, give me a few minutes to catch my beads, and I'll be right back.
Sure, Marge.
Oh, they're right here. Okay, I got them.
Okay.
Okay, I can do a round.
Okay. Sridevi, you can show your slideshow.
All right,
I think
we
you have
can,
co-host.
but I may drop off at some time, and then someone else can lead the chanting.
Yes, Marge.
Okay, because there's someone waiting for me, but that's all right. They can wait. Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Rama. Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Right, okay, so Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Anasuya, you want to take over the chanting? Hare Krishna, Krishna.
I actually have to get to work soon.
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, I can continue for a little more time.
Okay, then I'll make you co-host. I mean, sorry, I'll make you host.
Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare